Let's get down to cooking a giant burger. We start with dough. To make it, you need instant yeast. Put it into a bowl. Add sugar, 10.5 ounces of flour, and lukewarm water. Thoroughly stir the ingredients so there aren't any clumps left. Cover it with a towel and leave it in a warm spot for 40 minutes. Now prepare your surface for working with yeast. Put the rest of the flour onto the table. Gently make a circle in the center with your hand. Boom! And the flour just figured out who's boss right away here. Clean the center as much as you can and pour the yeast mixture right there. Keep going and add an egg, turmeric, butter, and make a hurricane in the dough. Squeeze it from the bottom of your heart to shape the dough like a circle. It has to be puffy and firm. Place the dough ball onto a baking tray. Adjust the shape and put it into the oven preheated to 125. To make the burger crunchy, you have to wait for the dough to rise and then coat it with a whipped egg. Afterwards, bake it until it's ready at 355 for 70 to 80 minutes. Let's go on to cooking a meat patty filling. Take out a knife set of a cooking samurai. Sharpen the needed tool and start the game with a camera guy. Hi-ya! We've made contact. Another hit! Yeah, the pork and beef reached their destination. Chop 2 kinds of meat into smaller pieces so it's easier to grind it later. Then grind the beef and the pork. After that, take onion. And we peeled it with mind power. Now, our task is to nicely chop it. Then cut bacon into cubes, mix everything, and fry it until you get a golden crust. A real cooking samurai doesn't even need a stove for it. Modern techniques help you fry food anywhere you want. Add salt to taste when it's ready, and also some pieces. Next is preparing spices for ground meat. Mix dried herbs in a mortar and crush them. Place the ground meat onto a baking tray and put fried bacon, onion, and spices there too. Mix everything well and slightly beat it with your hands. Then take a tomato, a piece of cheese, and purple basil. First things first, play Beethoven's Symphony on them with the 2 strongest knives to make your mood better, then crush them. Now, take a round metallic baking mold and put a bigger part of the meat into it. Cover this meat territory with tomato, grated cheese, cilantro, and basil on top. Add the rest of the ground meat. Fasten the meat together, even it out, and put it in the oven for 70 to 80 minutes at 430 degrees Fahrenheit. We finally start assembling the burger. Cut the ready bun in half. Skillfully add ketchup on each side and evenly spread it over. place the patty onto the bottom part. Pour on the melted cheese and sprinkle with onion rings. A tomato appears on the field and it's showing resistance. We start wrestling. Knives aren't our friends in this situation. A sword! This is exactly what a cooking samurai needs to persuade his enemies once and for all. Here's a harakiri for you, tomato! Ah! From the coolest chef ever. We savagely throw tomato slices on top of our patty and gradually make a meadow of pickles on the other half. Then rip lettuce into big pieces and confidently put them over the pickles. We fasten the halves of our giant and keep on cooking. Cut a thin part off the top bun. Coat the surface with ketchup and sprinkle it with cheese. Put on cherry tomatoes, add purple basil leaves, sprinkle with oregano, and put it into the oven at 7 minutes at 355 degrees. And of course, a burger is not a burger without French fries. That's why we take pre-made fries, add spices to taste, and place them near the burger so it looks presentable. Voila! Now you can surprise your guest. And when you're done taking selfies with the giant, cut it into smaller pieces for convenience and enjoy. There's always room for improvement. That's why the next level is a burger pizza. For the dough, we need to sieve 5.5 ounces of flour. Then make a hole in the middle of the iceberg you got and pour in 1.5 ounces of olive oil. Thoroughly mix 2.5 ounces of water with some yeast, salt, and pepper until they completely dilute. Violently throw away the fork. We don't need it anymore. Add the mixture to the flour and knead it till the pile of messy substance starts looking like dough. Cool the dough frisbee in the fridge. And don't forget to clean up your mess. Boom! And we move on to cooking the sauce. Mash a garlic head and extract a big clove. Peel it, crush it, and fry. It's very important to chop onion as precisely as a surgeon would do it, and add it to the garlic with some more oil. Add 9 ounces of tomatoes in juice to keep them company. It would also be nice to add Provence herbs to our volcanic substance. Click, the spices are in. Then we process the ingredients with a blender as though it was the best we can do for this sauce. Do you also feel like flour has to appear on stage again? Exactly. Sprinkle the table with it from the bottom of your heart and put on the dough. Carefully shape it into a circle with your fingers. Snap! Let the dough fly. Afterwards, place it onto a baking tray. Coat with the sauce, leaving the edges free. Don't flip a coin when it comes to the topping, because burger will win anyway. An army of burgers to be precise. It is ready to attack and invade our dough. Sprinkle the dish with a victorious confetti, which is grated cheese. It's so nice when you can play with your food. Skillfully cut mushrooms and juggle tomatoes. We place them onto our wonderful pizza, starting from the edge towards the center. Decorate with herbs and pour olive oil on top. And now it's time for the victory feast. Because no modern lady can resist a pizza with burgers.